In May 2018, Ed Woodward, Manchester United's vice chairman, said that playing performance doesn't really have a meaningful impact on what we can do on the commercial side of the business. In the Stretford End, hardcore United fans were unimpressed with the comment at the time, and no doubt Woodward is squirming after the club's moderate start to the 2019-20 season. United have just announced their accounts for the year ended 30th of June 2019, and like events on the pitch, they're a mixed bag of results. Football clubs generate income from three main sources: Matchday, commercial and broadcasting. Matchday income was £111 million, but while impressive by Premier League standards perhaps, it's shown little growth since Sir Alex Ferguson retired in 2013. Matchday income is a function of the number of matches played, multiplied by the average attendance, multiplied by the income per fan per match. In 2018-19, United kept season ticket prices frozen again and sold out every match, so there's little opportunity to increase this income stream unless Old Trafford, now looking tired and tatty compared to the newer grounds, has its capacity increased. Commercial income is where United have been historically the strongest, mainly through their policy of selling rights to commercial partners in different countries. This total too was relatively static in 2018-19 and perhaps suggests that a lack of silverware is taking its toll, as sponsors prefer to associate their products with success. Whilst United celebrated the kit deals with Adidas and Chevrolet a few years ago, it is effectively locked into these long-term arrangements, and other clubs are starting to catch up. Broadcasting income was therefore the only driver of revenue growth in 2018-19, but the numbers hide a story. Although broadcast income increased by £37 million, this was all due to a new Champions League TV deal starting. United were in the Europa League in 2016-17 and earned £38 million for winning it, but £83 million for making the quarter-final in the Champions League. Finishing 6th compared to 2nd in the Premier League meant that broadcasting prize money there fell by £7 million. United's lead over the Big Six clubs has eroded in recent years. In 2017, they earned £217 million more than Liverpool. The following season, this fell to £135 million. If Liverpool have another successful season in the Champions League, that gap could be close to being eliminated in 2019-20 by both of them, and of course, Manchester City, with Tottenham also using their new stadium to close the gap. Hidden away in the footnotes of United's press release is a statement saying that the club expect 2020 revenues to be in the £560 to £580 million range. The main costs are player-related in wages and amortisation. United's wage bill, despite paying fewer win and trophy bonuses than the previous season, increased to £332 million. This is partly due to a full season employing Alexis Sanchez, along with new contracts for some other players and Champions League participation bonuses being triggered. Since Ferguson retired in 2013, the wage bill has increased by 83%, putting the average weekly wage at approximately £160,000 per week. Now, United can afford to pay these high wages on the back of their revenue streams, with wages accounting for £53 of every £100 of income generated. This is well below UEFA's red line of 70% wages to income. United have traditionally had one of the lowest, if not the lowest, wage-to-income ratio of the Big Six, but this financial advantage has receded. Transfer fee amortisation is the cost of player transfers spread over the contract life. When United signed Fred from Shakhtar Donetsk last season for £52 million on a 5-year contract, this resulted in an annual amortisation charge of £10.4 million per year. The total amortisation charge for the whole squad was £129 million, treble the amount of when Sir Alex Ferguson was last in charge. Now, this suggests that Manchester United have clearly spent large sums recruiting players from other clubs and paying them handsomely. But the quality of that recruitment must be called into question. The two English clubs who participated in the Champions League final last season together had a lower amortisation charge than Manchester United. And remember that Rashford, Lingard and McTominay are all academy recruits with no amortisation cost. It cost United £19.6 million to sack Jose Mourinho and his entourage during the season after they were only 6th in the table in December 2018. This took the total cost of getting rid of managers to £40 million since 2013. But United did boost their profits with player sales that made the club £26 million as Marouane Fellaini, Daley Blind and young goalkeeper Sam Johnston all left Old Trafford. Profits are calculated as income less costs. Manchester United had profits from their total trading of £50 million in 2018-19, an increase compared to the previous season but still lower than in 2013. These profits are, however, before the club pays interest on its borrowings. United have outstanding loans of over £500 million, and the interest on these cost £450,000 a week. When the Glazers first bought the club for £790 million in 2005, lenders were very wary about giving the club money and charged interest rates up to 16.25%. Interest rates have fallen in recent years as the club managed to convince the markets that they were generating enough cash elsewhere to meet its payments. The total interest cost since 2005 has now reached £809 million, exceeding the sum originally borrowed. Prior to 2016, the Glazers and other shareholders did not take any money away from the club in the form of dividends on their shares, but since then, Manchester United have paid out £22 million a year in this form. Good news for the Glazers and hedge fund managers who own the shares, but this does reduce the amount available to invest on the pitch. The club spent £135 million on players in the year to 30th of June 2019, which includes Fred, Diego Dallo, Dan James and Aaron Wan-Bissaka. The latter two came in just before the end of United's year end. This means that United have made total player purchases exceeding £1 billion since Sir Alex Ferguson's retirement. Since then, the club has confirmed that they've spent £99 million on new players, including Harry Maguire. Sales since 30th of June are listed at £67 million, presumably in relation to Romelu Lukaku. This figure seems much lower than the amount quoted in the media, but may be net of agents' fees on the deal. United managed to reduce the amount they owe to other clubs on transfers to £188 million at the 30th of June 2019, although this figure is another which has risen rapidly since Ferguson's retirement. Many modern transfers are paid in instalments, but owing such large sums to other clubs does eventually restrict a club's ability to buy new recruits. So where does this leave Manchester United? Well, there's no doubt that the Glazers and Ed Woodward are unpopular with a large proportion of the fans. The lack of trophies in recent years is now perhaps catching up with the club, as it no longer shows the incredible growth in sponsorship deal values that took place once upon a time. So perhaps Ed Woodward is wrong, and playing performance does really have a meaningful impact on the commercial side of the business, and that might now worry the owners and investors as it has the fans in recent times. Kieran Maguire is the author of The Price of Football, The Finance and Economics of the Beautiful Game, published by Agenda and released in November 2019.